Hey, this is Nate. You can also call me Nathan, but please never call me Nathaniel. And I wanted to do a quick animation speed comparison between two speed runs of the same seed. So in the upper right, you have Sinus's world record at 4 minutes and 23 seconds. In the larger window, you have my run of the same seed at clocking in at 5 minutes and 12 seconds, I think. What I wanted to demonstrate is, from a mechanics perspective, Sinus is still much more practiced than I am, so I don't want to make the claim here that all of these differences between these two speedruns is purely based on animation speed, but if you watch closely at how fast some of the battle resolutions are running on the same battles, you'll see that there is a slight delay on my load screens, on my animations, on movement of the train as it moves along the paths, compared to the Sinus video, equating to roughly 45 to 50 seconds of total delay, and probably Sinus is better equipped to be able to identify specifically where mechanical differences may lie, but I'm not convinced that in terms of mechanics we're looking at a 50-second difference between runs. This can be further illustrated with other runs that we've done where we've played the same seeds, especially the Inferno runs, the Awoken runs, and so on. Again, looking closely, comparing run to run, and you can already see that Sinus is on the full next fight when I'm still doing the stores in between. So he's already on Fell, he's already almost finished Fell by the time that I am just starting the fight. What I will do later on is do an analysis on a battle-by-battle basis, but at least we can see overall the differences in how fast things are rolling. And we're talking about a run, a seeded run, which is mechanically very light. The main mechanics are menuing through the train portions. And here we're using the same techniques, using the click and selection. In this case, I have my selection tagged onto the E key and to my mouse 5 button, so I'm using both interchangeably, and then mashing the end turn button as quickly as possible. So there's not really a lot of, there's no card play except for the very first battle. There's very little in terms of in-battle mechanics at all. You're just clicking the end turn button as fast as possible. And similar to Sinus, I'm using a double click technique where I am left clicking and end turn clicking at the same time to try to even remove all possibility. You can selection click out of the coin selection. You can left click immediately to get out of the card selections, doing the skips to get the coins. But as I said, I think he is doing the menuing faster than I am. But then the question I pose to you and I pose to Sinus, and this is the question I asked myself, is do you think that those differences in mechanics on a run that is largely press end turn, do you think that those are substantial enough to equal 50 seconds? And as I said, I'm having looked at the footage side by side today before putting out this video. There are some clear differences in load times and animations, and because I'm not checking in-game clock throughout, I want to try to maintain the fastest possible speed. I don't know whether all the load times are being considered. I don't know whether Sinus mentions in his video that when there's a little bit of stutter that shouldn't affect the in-game time. I don't know what's all being considered here. I want to put this video out just to illustrate that for speedrunning to be competitive, you have to start on an equal ground. And if there is the possibility that the performance of your PC is going to substantially impact how quickly you can speedrun, it makes it difficult to compare apples with apples between players, right? Like, I think Sinus is mechanically better. Even if we were playing on the same machine, I think he would still beat me out on the seeded run because he's way more practiced than I am. I'm not convinced that my run shouldn't... If I had played my run on Sinus's machine, I am pretty certain it would have gotten, for sure, sub 5, possibly sub 45, 445. But as I said, I leave it up to you guys to judge. And if there is this issue, we talked about this in our state of the game on speedrunning in Monster Train. If this is an issue, it really could potentially impact the viability of speedrunning this game for any type of competitive comparison. And I, for one, would love to continue speedrunning the game. I'll be honest, I've been a little bit burned out by it, knowing that my machine is preventing me from getting the highest scores. I would like to get back into it, but for me, this is a hurdle. And for anyone else who doesn't have, you know, a really top-tier machine, to know that your speedrunning may not be as effective as another player's is a little bit discouraging. So I'm putting this out here, one, so that you know, you guys can check and give your opinions if you think the animation speed is playing a big role. And second, if this is true, I kind of put a request out to the developers to maybe see if there's a way to standardize animation speeds at any possibility, so that those of us that are trying to do this competitively can be playing on the same playing field. That's it. If you liked the video, please hit like, subscribe, and yeah, check out my other content. Check out Sinus's content. I put a link in the description to his world run record, which is really impressive all on its own. And I'll see you guys in my next video.